Hello, and welcome to the Sacred Heart Open Forum. I am your host, James Bona. Today I am joined with Aiden Knapp,
Hey, how's it going?
Jill Mike,
Hello.
and Nathan Stelmack.
Hey, what's up?
Our topic today is going to be Thanksgiving, specifically in 2020. To start things off, we will talk about the history of Thanksgiving. Would anyone like to start?
It's kind of I think a lot of people know it with the Pilgrims and the natives back in 1620 after, obviously when the Pilgrims came to America, they had a very difficult time uh, growing crops and really surviving, and after the natives showed them how to do it, they kind of just had this huge celebration to celebrate the fact that they were all alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the first Thanksgiving was like 3 days long or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like not anything related to the Thanksgiving we know now, too. Like
Yeah,
food wise and
yeah, there was no turkey.
yeah, exactly.
It's really cool because it's one of those rare moments where there was cooperation between the colonists and the Native American people. That's something that didn't happen a lot in North American history.
And I think that that's like a big takeaway to have for Thanksgiving is that it's about like people coming together and like joint unions between two different groups and, you know, obviously in the name giving thanks.
Yeah, and I think this year's going to be different if you guys want to talk about that too, with
Hmm.
everything going on.
So
Yeah, definitely.
obviously we're in a pandemic. Don't know if anyone noticed, but
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that.
so Thanksgiving is going to be just a bit different this year since I know with my family we're used to these big gatherings, extended family comes, we all cook, we all hang out at my grandparents'. But due to the CDC's guidelines, they're recommending that instead of having these big gatherings with multiple people, you limit it to just the people in your household.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it stinks that that's the case, but I think safety wise, it kind of has to be done, even as much as it's kind of saddens a lot of people
Hmm.
to have to stay away from one another, especially on a holiday like Thanksgiving, where the whole point of the holiday is togetherness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we make these sacrifices now, our future will be a lot better. So we just have to keep that in mind. As long as the food's still there, it's going to be a great holiday. That's what we all need to remember.
I think it's kind of a sad kickoff to the holiday season because it's kind of just a reminder because not just Thanksgiving, like Christmas is going to be like this and so is New Year's. But you guys are definitely right in the fact that we have to do this, and the more people that social distance right now, especially, the better off we'll be in the near future.
Yeah, I think that's like you and Aiden brought up a good point. Is like right now it's really hard because it's like in the moment we all have to do this. But then you think about even like next Thanksgiving and then Christmas next year. Like if we don't do this now, we could be in the same situation next year for all we know.
Absolutely. We definitely don't want that. So, if we get this over with now, we definitely have a bright future ahead.
Now, I mentioned my family's traditions, but like, what are the traditions that you guys have with your families for Thanksgiving?
Usually, honestly, I actually host. My family hosts a lot. But another thing too that we started doing a few years ago, which is before we would kind of host people and things like that, we would get together with my great grandmother because she lives at like a senior living complex, and I think that's one of the things that's most sad about this year too is the fact not being able to see her is difficult not only for us but for her as well.
Absolutely. That is really sad. My usual traditions are also seeing my family, which I don't see my family that often, extended family. So it's always really nice to be able to spend time with them on Thanksgiving. But I understand that, you know, this is the best way that we have to keep each other safe. So if we have to make this sacrifice, I guess I'm willing to do it. But it's definitely not the same, and it certainly isn't ideal. But we have to do it, and if we can just suck it up for now, things will get a lot better in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah, my on my mom's side, my uncle usually hosts, and that side of my family is really big, so it's usually like 40 people. So obviously we can't do that. That got canceled, which is unfortunate because I don't see a lot of my cousins or my aunts and uncles on that side. But my dad's side is smaller, and we're still doing Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house because there's so few of us that we can, and it'll be safe.
What exactly are our plans for this year as, our previous traditions have to be changed and altered a bit? Jill, would you like to start with this?
Yeah, as I said, we're going to my grandmother's house. I don't think everyone's gonna be there, which is sad and unfortunate. But I'm lucky enough to see enough most of my family in a safe way. So it's not like for some other people where they only get to see them like once a year. But it's still a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Aiden, would you like to follow that up?
Yeah, it's gonna be a very basic year for our family. We're just gonna spend time with the people in our household, my brother, my mom, dad, and dogs. Watch some football, eat some food, and just have a relaxing day overall. Definitely not gonna be as much fun as other years, but it's still something to look forward to.
Yeah, pretty similar to Aiden's. I'm kind of just hanging out with my family here, brother, two, parents, dog. And I think my grandmother, just by herself, might be coming over as well. And same thing, it's just going to be very low key, just kind of relax. And I think, in a time where things are so different, like, it's okay if Thanksgiving is, at least for me and our family, it's okay if Thanksgiving is different because it's just reflective of the time we're living in.
Yeah, my Thanksgiving's probably gonna be similar to the two of yours Thanksgiving, but our immediate family is on the bigger side, so we're used to cooking a lot, so it's just gonna be, a bit more than usual, so it's not too bad. Jill, I believe it was you who said this earlier, that Thanksgiving is really the start of the holiday season.
Yeah, I know there's Christmas music on the radio starting after Halloween, but
Yeah.
for me and my family, like after Thanksgiving's when the Christmas tree goes up, and I don't know, it's kind of a sad start to the holiday season, especially for my family, because Thanksgiving is it's my mother's favorite holiday, so she's kind of upset about what we have to do this year, but
I think that once we get through Thanksgiving, everything, Christmas, New Year's, and whatever events come after, depending on how long we're supposed to last in this, I think that once we get through Thanksgiving, it'll all be easier.
And I think another thing too that's important to remember is even though if you really put it into perspective, like any of us, like one of us could be sick, one of our parents could be sick. So the fact that all of us are okay in the first place, even though we have to take these measures, at least just be happy that these like this one Thanksgiving, hopefully not getting together, is the extent of the troubles that you have this holiday.
And also, I mean, it's you don't get together this Thanksgiving, but you have next Thanksgiving to all get together for. So because we're doing this now, we're able to look forward into the future.
Yeah, I mean it's 1 in 300 Thanksgivings,
Hmm.
so there's always going to be another one, like you said.
It's really just a short-term sacrifice. We shouldn't be. I guess you could say we shouldn't just shun all the safety standards just because we really want to celebrate a holiday the way it should be. Um, we're guaranteeing that the future is better by just accepting the protocols right now, and then keeping our families safe so that we can still celebrate holidays the way we want to in the future.
Hmm. And this goes into our final point, which is Thanksgiving in the homes might be very different, but Thanksgiving at the heart, we're still trying to have most of the things that we usually have as our tradition, like the food drive.
yeah, the food drive's very important. Student council puts it on every year. I think it's really nice that we're still remembering other people, which Sacred Heart always does. It doesn't take a pandemic for Sacred Heart to forget about others.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And now more than ever, people are struggling financially, being laid off from their places of work because
Hmm.
of the pandemic. So, right now, people can definitely use all the help they can get. And things like food drives can help families that might not be able to put the food they need on the table.
and I think a pandemic, like you said, only increases the need for to help, or should increase the desire to help others, because it's just an added weight on people's shoulders that those of us who are lucky to have the resources to help should use our abilities to help those people.
Absolutely.
And I also think back to how we started this with the history of Thanksgiving, this is going to be just basically a time to reflect, look inwards and also around us at our family and friends and those who we will be able to spend Thanksgiving with, and basically just, be grateful that they're all here.
Exactly.
But yeah, so does anyone have anything else that they would like to add?
I guess just as like a for me wrapping it up, like I hope everybody who's listening to this follows the protocols, stays safe, but at the same time, try and have fun with and uh, do what you can with the limitations that there are. Just because it's different doesn't mean it has to be terrible.
Make sure to give thanks this year. Especially just think about everything that you're fortunate enough to have, and realize too how many people out there need help. The pandemic's been very hard on a lot of people, and any little thing can help someone else out. So just pay attention to the people around you, see if anyone's struggling, and if you can offer help, please by all means offer help to the people that need it.
Just final thoughts. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Follow the precautions. I would like to thank my co-host today. Thank you for coming along, and also thank you for listening. This has been the Sacred Heart Open Forum.